I will start saying that this space is for rent. So get in touch with me, get me a shirt, and you get a guaranteed billboard walking around. um, I'm going to talk about, well, it's a long title. I summed up to active change management. I think it's key here. Same as Catherine, I think that nobody thinks of logistics when we talk about digitalization, but we actually have quite a lot to say. I hope that I'm able to bring that. Not an IT person, so hold on the IT questions. I know things from a high level, but we can get there. Why we are bringing digitalization in supply chain. We have three major trends that we are seeing happening in the world. Of course, digitalization is one of them. Faster adoption of technology, different types of business models, data becoming a commodity. The other side is our customers. Every single customer meeting that we go, they have their own KPI. How can we bring innovation or digitalization into our business? Level of requirements are changing, rise of e-commerce, all those elements you're familiar. And the other aspect is also labor. In some regions and sectors, we are facing some labor shortage, not having enough workforce available. We also require our people to have some knowledge of digital and innovation skills, and also the rapid increase of the labor costs. That's also impacting the supply chain. So our strategy will address all of that. Here is our DHL supply chain strategy. We try to bring the strategy in a more engaging way. So you see that it's hashtag connected people, execution edge, delighted customers, and own tomorrow. The whole strategy was built around people being able to engage, to pose with the hashtag in their hands, to interact with it. We are looking obviously under own tomorrow, which is how can we turn our business successful in the future by implementing not only digitalization, but also green solutions. So DHL supply chain. We're not talking about the DPDHL group here. I'm talking about supply chain business. We have over 2,000 sites across the globe. We have about 10,300 vehicles, and we have 130,000 people working inside of the operations, plus roughly 30,000 in regional offices. Our digitalization approach in DHL supply chain consists of innovation and incubation. So innovation is basically the exercise of mapping out all potential technologies that we see across the globe, all potential opportunities that we see that could become something that we can scale in the future. The incubation side is very exciting. If we don't find what we need in the market, we create ourselves. We have a startup lab, which is an opportunity for people inside of the company to come up with ideas. We have every year rounds of presentations to see what are the best potential technologies that we can implement in our business. 2 years ago, we started a program called Accelerated Digitalization with the objective of bringing key technologies to a wider number of sites. That happens through productization and deployment, and we are looking at, I'm not going to read it out, but all the aspects of the supply chain. We have launched this year a robotics hub, which is basically, in the past, every technology that we wanted to deploy had to be matched against a warehouse management system. And then when you go into the versions of that, it gets endless, right? To build the integration. Integration is a word that IT people understand. You understand integration. That is our plug-and-play solution that allows us to deploy any type of technology to any type of warehouse management system or transport management system from our customer or from our side. We have an enterprise architecture. All those data has to flow somewhere and feed somewhere else. And we are also analyzing those data. So this is basically how we are structured when it comes to digitalization in DHL supply chain. I mentioned before, we have key focus technologies. We have 12 of them. These are the technologies that we are deploying in our sites. You see some robotic solutions, some software-based solutions, and also smart-based devices. That's where virtual reality is for us. That's where we explore that aspect. And from this exercise with coming up with a new strategy, making sure that digitalization was part of that strategy, there are some key elements, which I call golden elements, that are really important for you to guarantee that people are onboarded on that journey with you. The first one is the strategy. You have to make sure that digitalization is part of your strategy. That's how you will get the leadership in. Probably you will create a KPI around that. Probably they will have to achieve some sort of target out of it. So strategy guarantees that. The second one is a mission. You have to get somewhere, so you have to be clear about that. We want to deploy a wider number of technologies into our sites. The third element, it is engagement for you to be successful with digitalization or innovation in your organization. Since we are at the end of the day, I decided to play the video that we created for that. Hopefully you will wake up with that. Our strategy before we started focusing on digitalization was we want to be the supply chain solutions company for the world. What we did was we added the digital in it to be the supply chain solutions company for the digital world. Our digital transformation, that's how we call it internally, but our digitalization strategy, we wanted to create visibility and transparency around that. Everyone is looking for information around that. Either if you are a board member and you are looking for a presentation, or if you are a site manager and you are deploying that technology in your site and you need to understand what is the operational flow that will change, how can you bring that technology in, who to contact. So we decided to create one single platform, a one-stop shop for everything around digital transformation. You'll see the tabs at the top. They reflect the same organization that I showed you in that previous slide. And it is our main tool to drive digital transformation in the organization. But digital transformation is not only about systems and IT, it's also about people and driving a digital organizational culture. We have ensured that we have people in each of the regions responsible for driving digital transformation into the region, so it doesn't become another corporate center project, which is also, it's one of the most challenges that we have in big, large corporations. The other aspect, of course, is the change management. How that technology will be changing or disrupting the person's life where the technology will be deployed. And that's the area that I'm going to explore a little bit today. We have created a 3-step approach for change management for our site managers. Why site managers? We cannot reach our shop floor employees globally yet. There's language barrier, they don't sit in front of a computer. And the site manager is the person that those people will look for more information. That, I hope that is the case here, right? If you have a question, you go to your manager and your manager has to be able to answer that question to you. So that's why we are focusing on them. We started with self-awareness. We need to beef up your knowledge. You need to be able to answer those questions. It's not a given that people will be able to do that. Before you can empower others, use available communication tools and how to engage the right people. And the third, sustainable momentum. How those roles will change, the activities that will be changed, the dynamics that are changing when adopting that technology. I have some overview here of some steps that we have created for the site manager, how to address those points to the employees. We have a collaboration hub. That collaboration hub basically we have mapped out our entire organization. We have we make sure that once you match a technology to a process, that you also have the information about the site, about the country, about the sector, the technology that will be used, the type, the company that, not the brand of the technology that is going to be used. Everything is available there to be visible. And we also have awareness material that is created around each of them. And that's where I want to go now. Oh, sorry, I forgot about the Connect. This is a new app that we are launching in the organization to reach out to blue-collar employees. It's a bring your own mobile device approach where we can start also communicating and engaging with people in the shop floor or the blue-collar employees. So I'm going to show you, this is our wearable devices. So on this side here, you have the wearable device that we are implementing now. On the other side, the old way of working. The picker has to walk through entire the warehouse, to go to a computer, to be able to say if there was something wrong with the item that he was picking, or if something happened in the process of that, he can address that to his manager. On the other hand, now he can do all of that through smart device in their wrist together with a ring scanner. So description and background, but what does that mean for the employee? So operators will now be able to read the instructions from a screen and scan the device. Somehow of a change. New roles and activities that will come with it are, now you will need a lead user that are able to fix the problems, deal with the devices, deal with the information coming from it. And the change in the work environment is very ergonomic. Those are the benefits that we're seeing there. Simple change, easy to manage, training, introduction around that. We make sure that we always collect feedback after a technology is implemented. We ensure that when we are training people, that they have sufficient breaks in, because the information can be very overwhelming. And the message mainly is, it's intuitive, it's tailored information. You have your hands free. You don't have the hand scanner anymore. You are not twisting your wrist anymore, which can cause some health issues, which is a very positive aspect. On the other hand, we have more complex technologies that are also being deployed to our sites. This is the assisted picking robot. How it works is the picker is no longer walking through the entire warehouse to pick the items for a specific order. Now the robot does that. Each picker is responsible for an aisle, and the robot comes, shows in the screen what has to be picked. He or she picks from the shelf, scan, you see there, confirms, puts inside of the bin, and then the bot goes to the next picking location inside of the warehouse. That is communicating with the warehouse management system and transmitting data, and the bots are also talking to each other to know where they are. So that's the one where things get a little bit more complex. Picker is changed to a more focused area. He's not walking throughout the entire warehouse anymore. He's just taking care of an aisle. That means that he's also taking better care of that aisle. So one of the problems in logistics is replenishment, to make sure that the items are available to be picked. Now the picker is responsible for that. So that's a new activity for him. Let's say that he's saving from walking the entire warehouse to pick that specific order. The shift manager should also be able to read the data coming from that device. So that is the other change that comes with it. The new roles and activities, you need someone responsible to take those bins and put in the bots in order to go. And you also need a super user on site to troubleshoot or solve any problems. Easier navigation, increased speed, process gamification as well around that, and there's also better ergonomics coming from it. So I brought you two examples. One of smart devices, the other one with robotics, and probably you're thinking, oh, okay, so that means that you're actually hiring more people than the existing amount to do the same job. That's, oh, sorry, I jumped one. The material that we have available as well in that technology with the training provided to the supervisor, all the information that he needs to deal with that, and also the main messages around it, which is the robots are not to replace humans, but to support them, very important, emphasize the ergonomic benefits. So all of those key messages to deploy that technology are provided to the site manager. Now back to my question, the eternal question, man versus machine. What will happen? I mean, the whole story that I told you just now seems very positive because I'm talking about new people being added to the process rather than people being taken out, right? Well, actually, we have done a study 2 years ago, and we realized that actually the head count of our organization, and that is for the entire group now, I'm talking about 500,000 people, will not change dramatically. It actually will affect the nature and the requirements of those jobs. Here's the breakdown. We have realized that, of course, we will be less dependent of the operations, but the number of jobs on that digital and IT side will increase, and new positions will come along with the new roles that are coming. So there is a bit of turnover there that helps as well. That element of people leaving the organization and you not needing to rehire, and the job profiles will definitely change in the future. Short and sweet.